What's the figure on the stamp? It's also your picture on Discord and website says, that's me. So it's this picture here. It's basically a strange creature I drew in the year 2004. And I was just using it as an avatar and it just stuck with me. I like continuity that way. So I kept using it and it became like a personal logo. When I first drew it, I felt it was like a symbol of wisdom, this almost Baphomet-like figure with 4 limbs and like many limbs actually. It's also like an insect. So I think it may be my personal spirit avatar. But I think it's just something for continuity. I wanted a like weird looking but recognizable figure. And since 2005, it's been nearly 20 years now. So it's a nice hallmark. Any places you wish to visit in particular? I don't know. I'm a stickler for small cities or large towns. I hate large cities. I've been saying this a long time, so it has nothing to do with the recent crime wave, but I wouldn't be caught dead in New York. I hate New York City with a passion. I also hate San Francisco with a passion. Anybody who wants me to live in those places is my enemy and will be treated as such. So fucking yes. I'm actually kind of warm to Los Angeles because it's like a mega city. And some of its outlying neighborhoods are really nice and laid back. I like that place. I don't know, I could visit Florida, Minneapolis, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I don't know, I like a lot of places. Any favorite or cool space-related stuff you want to see in world-building projects? Well, an artist I follow on Twitter has this incredibly realistic space combat 3D render art. It's called Moon War. Well, Moon War. And I really like that. I could always see more of that stuff. I personally am not big on the whole space angle of sci-fi in general, because as we know now, space travel, the way we see it in Star Wars, is almost impossible. And I'm not really keenly interested in that whole thing, but I really respect and appreciate it. In the Dune films, you see a whole other part of space travel where there's no space action. It's just these giant ships that are like forces of nature. And that's actually how I imagined spaceships when I drew them in All Tomorrows and beyond. I really loved Spice. Yeah, that whole thing I think started as a joke. I mean, in Frank Herbert's time, it was a kind of pop culture thing to go on like head trips, you know. That's where the origin of the word bad trip comes from. Like a drug experience was a trip, and some people really considered like LSD trips to be out of body experiences. There's even a very famous fake news article on The Onion saying the hippies and NASA race for the moon. And basically it involves hippies meditating and taking drugs and NASA trying to build spacecraft to be the first one to go to the moon. So yeah. And I think in the Dune universe, it was like almost like a tongue-in-cheek joke that the guild navigators take such a strong form of drug that it just basically makes them warp time. Some depictions of guild navigators remind me of asteromorphs in All Tomorrow, says Dan McClear. Well, a little, maybe. Let's try to draw a guild navigator. What do they even look like? I'm using a lot of artistic license here, but here is the guild navigator with a person for a scale. Here you go.